Well, I wanted to ask about taking liberties with characters because obviously with Gotham High, there are a number of departures from the original source material. Alfred's actually a biological uncle to Bruce, and he's openly gay. You've switched the race of Bruce Wayne, Selena Kyle, multiple characters. Although, to be fair, between Elseworld stories and everywhere else, Bruce Wayne's been just about every race, which is as it should be. So when you're doing that, where's the line? Where do you have to be faithful to the character enough that it's still recognizably Jack Napier, it's still Selena Kyle, but you want to do your own thing and create something new, so we're not just regurgitating the same Batman story every time?
Yeah, no, I think that's really important. And on Gotham High was there was a different gig from Disney because they said you can do whatever you want, like absolutely just go wild. It's your take on Batman. None of these books are canon. These are, seen as, they're not origin stories. They're, my take on Batman. And so I was really excited. And one of the first things I asked was, is it okay if I make Batman Chinese? Because I thought, if he's going to be one of the richest, people in the world, that would be so cool if his family's wealth came from Hong Kong. And if I said it, in, kind of a rich enclave that where a lot of Chinese people live in America, which is Arcadia, and they were just so excited for that. But it was interesting because my original take for Bruce Wayne was not just that he was Chinese, but he was kind of like a Chuck Bass. He was a party guy. He was, somebody who was a little bit more like a Great Gatsby character, who wanted all this attention. And at that point, that's when DC said, but he still has to be Bruce Wayne, And I said, oh, that's right. Like, he can't be that guy because that's not Bruce Wayne. So I think you have to be true to the spirit of the character. He's still got to be broody and alienated, and kind of an outsider. He's still got to be Batman. You can't completely change, the personality. I think you have to have some of those recognizable qualities. So as much as, you want to play around with stuff. And with Alfred, I thought, what's the most recognizable thing about Alfred? I mean, is that he cares about Bruce Wayne, that he, is kind of like his mentor and, his, kind of like, he's not just a butler. He's like an older gentleman who cares for him. And I thought, it wasn't that much of a leap to make him his uncle. And I thought it would be fun, again, if, the way he got his name, Alfred Pennyworth, was because he was married to a British guy. And, it's just kind of fun to do that kind of thing. Yeah, I like playing with IP too, definitely. I like to see how you can twist, the things that we know into something that's still recognizable, because obviously Alfred is still a mentor, still, the smart, capable, calm, presence in Bruce's life.
He's not beyond dusting a thing or two if it should come up, sure.
Exactly.
Well, when you do that, do you think about fans at all? Because obviously, internet fans run the gamut. But I'll never forget that when the first, I'm so old that I still remember Sam Raimi's Spider-Man as my Spider-Man. But I know that's like 7 Spider-Mans ago or however many it's been. And he had the organic web shooters as opposed to making them himself, because he's also a brilliant scientist who's in high school, sure. And I always thought, well, what a great change, because now that's a scene of exposition we don't have to sit through. He's already got spider powers. Now he's got organic webs. And obviously everybody went nuts, so much so that there's never going to be another Spider-Man where he doesn't sit down and patiently make those web shooters, because the fans have let it be known for whatever reason that's their line, that you cannot cross. So when you're making such big departures with beloved characters, be it comic book characters or anybody else, do you worry about what fans might think, or do you just worry about that after the fact because it's your story now, and you tell the story you want, and then let the chips fall where they may later?
Well, I think that in as much as I worry about the fans is because I'm a fan too. So I want to make sure that I'm happy, especially with the Disney stuff. I feel like I'm the biggest Disney fan, so I wanted to make sure that I was happy with the changes I was making. And with Batman too, definitely, but I don't think about, I think when you write, you can't think about the reaction to what you're writing. Otherwise, you'd never write. You'd just be so scared to write anything. So yeah, I don't really think about that when I'm making things, and even after, it's like, oh, you didn't like it? Whatever. I liked it. Can't please everybody.
I'm sorry that this story didn't make you happier. However, we still received your money, so it's fine.